Friends, I know today is not the right day to post any video. The shocking news of the Air India plane crash has shaken all of us at the deepest level. We all are immensely disturbed and saddened today by this unbelievable accident that took away so many lives at the blink of an eye. Despite this tragedy, I am posting this video related to MEXT 2026 application, as many of you have been continuously requesting me to guide you towards the next steps in the application process. And since not many days are left for the written test and interview, I didn't want to waste any more time and guide you through the process. So this is the reason why I am posting this video, even though I should not have done this at least today. So this will be the final video on MEXT 2026 scholarship application process, in which we are going to look at three aspects. The first is the results of the undergraduate, Kosen, and the specialized technology college results, because that we didn't discuss earlier. We had discussed only the research results. Then we will discuss about the documents that the research applicants need to carry to Delhi during the for the written test to be held in Delhi. And thirdly, we will discuss some probable interview questions applicable for all of these categories, all of these four categories. So let's begin with the result overview of undergraduate, Kosen, and STC. So I always start from this website, Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Japan, mofa.go.jp. So I will consider the case of India. So Embassy of Japan. We go to education, study in Japan, Japanese government scholarships. So now here you can see, so although the results of research and undergraduate and others were released earlier, and you also got the email, and but there were no hyperlinks like this available on the embassy website from where we could have reached those results. So there was a lot of confusion how to access the result and where the result has been declared. But now you can see very clearly here, research student, list of shortlisted candidates after preliminary screening. Then undergraduate students, list of shortlisted candidates after document screening. So similarly, National Institute of Technology, Kosen, and specialized training colleges. So everywhere you can see the list of shortlisted candidates. Now the research is separate list, but they have combined undergraduate, Kosen, and STC in the same document. That means these three links take us to the same document. So if I now click on list of shortlisted candidates, so I can see here list of shortlisted candidates after document screening 2026. So if you click on this, it takes us to this result. List of shortlisted candidates for written test. The written test will be conducted on 28th of June for undergraduates and 29 June for the Kosen and STC. And it will be held at DPS RK New Delhi. So you don't need to carry any document. The undergraduate, Kosen, and specialized training students need not carry any documents because you already submitted all the documents in multiple copies. So that's why if you read these instructions, there is no mention of any documents to be carried. Just keep your iCard and the application that you had submitted, just keep a copy of that for just for as a backup. So keep that with you. Otherwise, I don't see any other requirement mentioned here. And if in the email, if they have instructed you something, then do follow that. Follow the instructions that they have sent to you on email. Otherwise, you don't have any other obligations. Now, if we see the result, how many students were shortlisted? Undergraduate, social science, 6 students, social science B, 10 students. Then natural science A, it's a lot more than 50, 17 to 85. and then we have 3 more. So total 88 students were only shortlisted. So here the competition is even more than that in the research. So in the research, 185 students were shortlisted from more than 3,000 applications. But in undergraduate, I believe there would have been even more applications submitted than the research category, but only 88 students have been shortlisted. So this tells how competitive this scholarship is, and how, like like some of you were asking me, well, what will happen if I don't have that? Can I still apply? So this is the answer, right? So you have to abide by whatever they have asked for. So if you don't have anything, then just asking me whether they will allow you or not, that is not going to help. If they have asked something, you have to submit that one. Otherwise, they will simply discard your application, because they want to eliminate as many as they can so that they can narrow down the list. So please consider this if you apply next time, that your application should be very, very effective. Then for Kosen, they have selected 30 candidates, and specialized training college, they have shortlisted 54 candidates, and that's all. So 88 plus 30 plus 54. These many students have been shortlisted for the undergraduate COSEN and STC written tests and interview. So this is one thing. Now, if we go back to the page, so in the same way, you can check the research as well, which we discussed in a previous video. So I am not going there. And now the next agenda of today is documents for research applicants. This is very important. So let's go to the research student page. Let's see the result first. List of shortlisted candidates. So here they have mentioned something about the requirement of application. So see here, number fourth point. On the day of the writing test, you are required to bring 3 sets of applications along with supporting documents as mentioned in guidelines. So be careful here, as mentioned in the guidelines. Which guidelines? The application guidelines. And where is that? This is here. This is the application guidelines, which we earlier also we discussed while filling up the preliminary application form. So let's open this guideline and see what kind of documents they have asked for. So this is the application guidelines for MEXT 2026. So let's go to the requirement of documents. This is the one. Section 9, application documents. Applicants must submit the following documents to the Japanese diplomatic mission in the country of the applicant's nationality by the designated deadline. So these documents will not be returned. So whether you are accepted or not finally, the documents will not be returned. So never submit any original document. Original document, even if they mention, that means a certified true copy or an attested copy of the certificate, and the attestation should be done by whoever they have instructed. So we will look into that, what they have asked for. So, but never submit any original degree or any mark sheet, because you will not get it returned. So there are several documents that you need to bring with you at the written test. First is application form. And see here, one original, 2 copies. So in Japanese terminology, if it is a round sign like this and it is white inside, that means it is mandatory. If it is black, that means optional. Okay, so optional or if applicable. So first is application form. Number one document is application form. So now don't think that the preliminary application that you had submitted that refers to this. No, this is a completely different application form. And from where will you get that? You will get that from here. See on this page of below application guidelines, this is the list of shortlisted candidates, and after that there is one application form mentioned. So this is that form which we have to use. So this is a very, very similar form as used by the undergraduate students. So you can refer to that video as well, which I had prepared for the how to fill undergraduate application form. So most of the answers you will get from that video. So this is the same playlist, Ticket to Tokyo. You can just go back and check out that video. I will give the link of that video in the description section of this video as well. So 2026 application form for Japanese government MEXT scholarship research students. Name in alphabet, surname, given name, middle name, gender, male. You can just click it and you can save this as well. So this is the good thing. You can save it as well. So you can, this is an editable PDF. So marital status, either married or single, you have to affix your photograph here. Paste your photo or digital image taken within 6 months. Write your name and nationality on the back of the photo. So you have to take the photo, you have to sign it behind, like in on the back side, you have to write your name and the nationality, not sign. You have to write the name clearly and your nationality on the back of the photo, so that if it, even if it gets detached, they will identify who that photo belongs to. Japanese nationality, no, then this will not be applicable. Date of birth, right here, year, month and day. Age as of 1st April 2026. The current address, city name, country. If you currently reside in Japan, what is your current visa status? This is, and if something is not applicable, mention it clearly that this is not applicable. Your address, if it is same as the above address, then just click here. If not, then write the full address here. Name of Japanese. Okay, so this is if your address before departure for Japan is outside your home country, do you understand that an airline ticket to Japan will not be provided? You have to write yes. You have to give your consent here. Name of Japanese diplomatic office where you will apply for visa issuance. So if it is Embassy of Delhi, New Delhi, Embassy of Japan, New Delhi, then you have to write it here. If it is Consulate General of Japan in Kolkata or Bangalore or any other location, you have to write that here. Then name of Japanese diplomatic office. Write a Japanese diplomatic office in the country of your nationality in reference to the following web page of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. So this is the same website that we started our video from today. Then you can write the phone number and your email. You are suggested to write an email address that can be used continuously before, during, and after your stay in Japan. So this is the email that will be considered henceforth. So the email address that you had provided in your preliminary application will no longer be valid. So it is better if you give the same email address if possible. If not, then whatever you provide in this form, that will be considered from now onwards. Have you been awarded a Japanese government MEXT scholarship in the past? No. If yes, then you fill this. If no, then you don't have to fill any of this. So we come down to the next one. So this is all belong to the point number 8 only. That is, have you been awarded Japanese MEXT scholarship before? So 8.1, 8.2, 8.3. If the answer is no, then you don't have to fill any of these. Then ninth is, are you applying for any other Japanese government scholarships apart from this? Then you can write no. Are you receiving or scheduled to be receiving any scholarship from any organization other than the Japanese government MEXT? No. If you are receiving or applying for other scholarships, please specify the name of sponsor, scholarship period, scholarship amount, etc. So you need not write anything here. So if you have submitted your application for the Mitsui scholarship, you don't write it here because you have not yet received. If you write here, then they might think that you have already applied for another scholarship and they may not consider you. So never write about any other scholarship as of now because you do not know. Next is the academic record, which is very, very important. So read these instructions very carefully because they have given some useful and very, very important information on how to fill this up. Write your record from primary education, that is elementary school, to most recent educational level attended only as a full-time student. Exclude kindergarten education and nursery school education. Write the official graduation year and month in this space, and then for those whose status is expected to graduate, write expected year and month of graduation in this space given. If the applicant chooses other status in the status, indicate the detail of status in the remarks column. For example, withdrawal, leave of absence and all. So just go through all these points and then start filling this form. So primary education, name of school, state, city or province, and from date to date. So you have to write in year and month format only. So you need not give the actual date. So just April. So for April, you write 04 here. And if it is 2007, then just write 2007. So like that, 2015, 2014, 03, like that. And then here you calculate the number of years like that. So here status and degree obtained. So since this is elementary education, so they have already crossed this one. So you need not write anything here. So in this way, primary education, then lower secondary education, that is middle school or junior high school, then upper secondary education, senior high school. So that means primary education you can consider from class 1 to 5, secondary is 6 to 10, and upper secondary you can consider as 11th and 12th, that is higher secondary. So class 1 to 5 here, class 6 to 10 here, and 11th and 12th here. Then comes the tertiary education, higher education, which is undergraduate, that is the bachelor degree. So you write the school name or the college name or the university name here, state, province, city, from date to date, number of years, it can be 4 years or so. Then whether you have already graduated, whether you expect to graduate, or the other status. So if it is other, then you have to write it in this remark which is available here. So if it is expected to graduate, then you tick this one and write the month and year of your expected date of graduation. And you have already graduated, then graduated, and write the date of month and year of graduation. And if it is other status, then you may leave it blank if something is not proper. That, for example, if you have withdrawn from the course, then there will not be to date. So in that case, you have to write it separately in this remarks section. So similarly, the master level, doctoral level, you can write here, and they have given 2 rows so that you can accommodate more number of degrees. So this is how it is. Next is very, very important now. The point number 12, 13, and 12 and 13 are very important. Field of specialization studied in the past, be as specific and be as detailed and specific as possible. So since they have provided a considerable amount of space to write, so you should be writing it very nicely, and you should not do a very shortcut kind of thing. So write as appropriately as possible. They have given so much of space means they are expecting you to write here. So do write your field of specialization and what kind of study, what kind of research you have already done, and what all that led to. Then in point number 13, it is state the titles or subjects of books and thesis, including graduation thesis authored by applicant, if any, with the name, address of publisher and the date of publication. So any kind of publication, including your master's thesis, you should mention it here very, very clearly and properly so that your scholastic qualifications are brought forward. So market yourself. This is the area where you should market yourself. Please make sure to submit 8 abstracts of thesis in a separate paper with your name on if you select yes in the above item 13. So if in the above item 13 you have written something, then you can abstracts of thesis. So if you go to the guidelines, See here, number 8 point, abstracts of thesis is the submission guidelines. Submit if the applicant has written thesis. So if you have written a thesis whose details you have given here, you have to write abstracts also of all of these, or any of like all the research publications, and whichever whatever you mention here, you have to write abstracts of each of those, and you have to attach at this as part of point number 8. This is not mandatory, but if you have thesis, if you have research papers, then you must write abstracts. The first course you plan to take in Japan: non-regular, non-degree, master degree program, professional graduate program, doctoral program. So it can be master degree program or any other program. Preferred month of arrival in Japan, you can choose April. So the Japanese academic calendar is from April to March. There are two semesters. One is from April to September, and the other one is from September or October to March. So you can select April, you can select October or October, September, October, or you can select both A and B are acceptable except the month is in. So I think this is better. It's better to give both of these to keep it flexible. Term you wish to study in Japan: up to the completion of master's degree program, up to the completion of the professional graduate program, up to the completion of doctoral program. So it depends on your choice. Suppose you are currently getting enrolled in master degree, but your aim is to do doctoral as well, continue with the doctoral degree as well, then you can select this one. Otherwise, you select this one. Do you currently have a job? Yes or no? If yes, then write the name of the company where you are working. Employment record, write the two most recent employments excluding volunteers and part-time work. So only full-time employments you have to mention here. So this is very clear: name and location of organization, period of employment, position and type of work. So your job responsibilities will come here. Motivation for studying in Japan. So now point number 19 is extremely important. I think this is the most important part of your application because these questions may be asked in the interview as well. So the first question is, what was the trigger for having an interest in Japan? Motivation for studying in Japan. So there are several questions for this topic. What was the trigger point is the first question. What was the trigger for having an interest in Japan? So there is no one particular answer to this. Each of you will have different answers. I don't want to give any answer for this because that will make you plagiarize things, so I don't want that. So just think about it. From where did you hear about Japan? From where did you hear about doing higher studies in Japan? So try to go back to that point, and whatever was the trigger point, write it honestly here. Always remember that honest answers always have higher weightage. So if you copy some answer from some site or through some AI based tool or something, some search engine, you will get a good answer, no doubt. Grammatically, very good English and very good flowery language, you will get that answer. But that may not have that much of impact on the assessors. They are always looking for genuine, honest, and that answer that comes from within yourself. So never copy any answer or don't memorize any answer from the internet. Just think what you believe and just write it down. And whatever is applicable for you, just write it down. Be honest in these answers. The other question is, why do you choose Japan as a destination to study graduate level education? So this again you have to think, because you are applying for the master degree or doctoral degree, so you are matured enough to have your own thinking, your own judgment. So do think about this question and try to write down. So first, my advice is first you write on rough paper so that you do not have to cut and all that, do all those things on this application form. So you should keep it very, very neat and clean. So write somewhere else first, and once you have finalized the text, then only type it here. Yeah, but anyway, you are not going to type using a pen, right? So you are going to type. So, so whatever I said is not valid. So sorry about that. So you will be typing it out. So that's not an issue then. The next question is, what kinds of things do you think you can contribute to Japan and your home country through your experience of studying in Japan? This is an extremely important question, and this they ask in the interview as well. What kinds of things do you think you can contribute to Japan? So now your answer should revolve around the research topic and the research plan that you have mentioned in your preliminary application. So if you say something else, then they may ask you how is your research plan going to fulfill that thing which you just mentioned here as an answer to this question. So you have to go back to your research topic and you have to think how your research is going to contribute to Japan and your home country at the same time. And not only the research topic, your personal life also. So you will grow as a person when you are living in Japan because you are living in a completely new society. You will learn lot many things there about their culture, their traditions, their ways of working, their behavior, their nature, their technology, their nature, and many things. So you have to think from that point of view as well, not only your field of study or your research topic. So once you have done that, now the language ability, Japanese, English, reading, writing, speaking, listening. So 3 is excellent, 2 is good, 1 is fair, 0 is poor. So this is again depends on your own understanding. So write honestly. Do not write for the sake of writing. If you do not know Japanese even a little bit, then write 0 as poor. If you know something, then write fair for that particular category. For speaking, definitely it will be 0. For listening, it will be 0. But reading and writing, if you have started to write and read, then you can just put 1 and 1 here. And English, again, up to you. Japanese language qualifications, if you have JLPT, you can write the level N4, N5, N3, N2, whatever, total score. And for English, if you have TOEFL score, you can write here. IELTS score, you can write here. Others, for example, Pearson English test, PTE. So PT, Pearson test of English, PT, that you can write it here if you have taken that. Please enter only the language qualification or proficiency test course from within the previous 2 years from the time of application to the Japanese diplomatic mission. That means if you have given JLPT, TOEFL, IELTS more than 2 years ago, then that score will not be valid and you should not write that score here. Only if these scores are achieved within the last 2 years, then only you can mention them here. Accompanying dependents, if any dependent is going to travel with you, if you are selected for the scholarship, then you have to write the names and their details here. Contact person in your home country in case of emergency, name, address, numbers, relationship, occupation. Past visits or stays in Japan, if there were any, then you can write here, otherwise no need. I understand and accept all the conditions here. You just choose this box. So remember to choose this, otherwise your application will not be considered if you do not complete this application. So do not leave any of these spaces blank. If something is not applicable, just write that it's not applicable. So write the year, it will be 25, month, it will be June, and date, it will be 12th. So this is the end of this application form. So simply save it and save it by your name. So you can keep this part as it is, and at the end you can just write this. You can just add your name in capital, and then you can save it like this. So it gets saved. Whatever I have filled is saved, as you can see here. So it gets saved. So this application is done now. So I will close this file and I will go back to this list of documents. So application form is done. Placement preference application form, use the 2026 form. So again, you have to go from here. So application preference form, they had mentioned earlier about it. So you can see here. So I think it was given in the, so use the 2026 form. So if it has been given to you, then only you need to submit it, otherwise not. So I don't see any placement preference application form here. So let's search this placement. So this is the placement form, request of provisional acceptance and submission of a placement form. A letter of provisional acceptance will greatly influence final selection results. Applicants may be rejected if they have not obtained any such letter. Applicants who have passed the first screening should therefore ask universities they wish to attend. So this document is not needed at this point of time because you don't have one. The because these are the application forms that they have asked as of now. So there is no placement preference form as on date. Okay, so this is not needed as of now. So next we go back to this table. Next is field of study and research plan. Use form 2026 form, see note 5. Note 5 is this. The sheet of field of study and research plan should describe the applicant's past and present field of study and research theme and plan in Japan, as it will serve as an important reference for placement of the applicant to a university. So this is the same as you did during the preliminary application. So now if you go back to this page, field of study and research plan. So this is the document that you need to fill up. So this is the same as you did at the time of preliminary application. So this is the same document. So you can just simply consider that. Next is academic transcript of all the academic years of university attended. So remember, this is only for the university. A transcript issued either by the university attended or by the applicant's national government. See note 6. Note 6 is applicants must submit the following documents according to his or academic background. Applicants who have already graduated, applicants who have already completed a degree program, applicants who are pursuing an undergraduate degree, an academic transcript that covers from the year of enrollment to the term for which grades have been determined at the time of application for the scholarship. So even if you have not yet passed, you have to give the transcript from the starting semester until the last semester for which result has been declared. And a transcript means you should get that issued from the university, and sometimes they put a seal that it is a certified true copy. So that will also hold good. You need not send the, in fact, you must not send the original document for which you will not get a replacement from your university. And MEXT or the embassy is also not going to return you the original certificate. So never submit any original certificate. Although it is mentioned here original, original means a certified true copy is also considered as original. And the two copies mentioned here are basically the photocopies of this one original. So academic transcripts over, certification of graduation or certificate or degree certificate of the university attended. If the applicant has not yet graduated, submitted a certificate of prospective graduation from the university. So you have to get that issued from the university. So again, if it is a certificate of graduation, do not submit the original copy. Get a certified true copy issued by the university and submit that. So that will be one original, and make photocopies of two, and that will be these two copies. So one original, two copies, total three sets. Recommendation letter from the president or dean or the academic advisor at the current or last university attended. This is a free format. A sample format is available. So if you go back to this page, you will see this recommendation form sample. So you can use this template, or the professor that will be recommending you can also use his own template. But remember to be sure to address the points that they have mentioned in this form. So this is again one original, two copies, but see note 8. It should be sealed if the applicants, no, this is uh, free sample. Okay, so there is no other thing, but I believe you should have sealed copies of recommendation letters, because recommendation letters should not be opened by the applicant. These should be in a sealed form, and they should sign across the seal to ensure that you do not open those recommendation letters. So that is important. So you can ask the professor to give two more copies, and all the copies should be in sealed envelopes. Medical certificate, use 2026 certificate form. Again, there is form attached here. So certificate of health, you can just download that and use that. Abstracts of thesis, as we already discussed this. Certificate of language proficiency, we already discussed the copies, if there is any. So no original here, only 3 copies. Recommendation letter from the employer if you are employed, and photographs showing applicants' own works of art or digitally recorded media of musical performance. So if the applicant is to major in fine arts or music. So go through this section 9 very carefully, and read through these notes as well, because some important instructions have been given in these notes. So do read these 2 pages, page number 6 and 7 of the application guidelines. Go through these two line by line, word by word. These are the important things that you need to consider while submitting the application. And that's why they have mentioned in the result page that on this result, that on the day of the writing test, you are required to bring 3 sets of applications along with supporting documents as mentioned in the guidelines. So this is the guideline. So I hope it is more or less clear. Rest you can read yourself and get those all documents ready before you leave for Delhi. So now we come to the third section of our discussion, which is interview questions. So what are some of the probable interview questions? Let's quickly take a look at that. So, but before doing that, 6 tips. Be honest in your answers. Do not misrepresent any information during the interview, and don't try to be over smart. Be specific and confident. Do not give vague answers. So feel very confident. So whatever you are speaking, you should be confident about it. Being confident doesn't, however, mean being loud or aggressive. So be super polite in conversation. Japanese culture is extraordinarily polite and humble. So remember that in our culture, something may not be considered as rude or aggressive, but the same behavior, the same act may be highly impolite in Japanese culture. So be extra careful in talking with the interviewer. So you should always be very polite and humble, and you should always uh, acknowledge if he's saying something. You should move your head in agreement, and you should in between you should slightly bow a little just to acknowledge what he's telling and to show respect towards him. Practice your research proposal explanation in both simple and technical terms. You never know. The meaning is that in the interview mode, maybe one person is from your background. So if that is the case by chance, then he might go little deeper into the research proposal. So he might be curious to know, he might be interested in knowing more about it. So for that person, you have to go bit little deeper in terms of technicality. But if the person who is interviewing you, if he is from a different background, then he may not be asking you too much of question, but he would definitely be interested to know what your research is going to do. So you have to explain to him in layman's terms. So you should be capable of doing that as well. So this is the meaning of that thing. Show a genuine interest in Japanese culture and language. Read a lot about Japan during the remaining days. So start reading, because nowadays there is no scarcity of information on the internet. Just read a lot about Japan so that you are little bit familiar with their culture and traditions and the language. As soon as you get a relevant question, demonstrate how the scholarship will have a multiplier effect, helping you both helping both you and the wider community. So you should wait for the right question to demonstrate this answer, that what you are going to achieve using this scholarship for yourself and also for your home country and also for Japan. So these are some of the tips, and now we will look into some questions. The first question, most likely it will begin with tell about yourself. So you can speak about yourself. So prepare an answer for this. This is just a sample format. So you need not stick to this, but this is just a sample format you can use. It's a template kind of thing, but you are free to use your own answer. Second question is, why did you choose Japan for your studies? Again, this should be very, very honest answer, and it should be specific to yourself. Every candidate should have his own answer. This is just a text, but I would recommend you not to memorize this or not to consider this. This is just a reference and not any, this is just a reference answer. So if everybody starts telling the same answer, then it won't be good. So better you formulate your own answer. Just write down in a notebook, note down these questions that I am giving you and prepare answers yourself. So my questions and your answers. Third is, why did you choose this field of study? So you have to you have to justify your choice. I chose this field because it addresses real world challenges. For example, I was inspired by so and so or such and such, and I want to deepen my understanding and eventually contribute solutions. Japan's expertise in this area will support my growth. So in that way, you formulate your own answers, and it will be very, very good if you can formulate very specific answers, not in generic terms. So if you look at the previous answer, this is kind of generic, so you should avoid that. You should be very, very specific and justify why you chose your field of study. Can you briefly explain your research plan or proposal? So this is the one that we already discussed. This is applicable for research students. So both in layman's terms and in technical terms, you can explain that. What are your future plans after completing your studies? This is an extremely important question. So after completing my degree, I plan to return to my country and work in so and so industry or academia. I hope to apply the knowledge and skills I gain in Japan to solve local issues and foster international collaboration between Japan and my home country. So now if you tell like this, then they might ask what kind of local issues you are talking about. So again, you have to be very specific. This answer is a generic answer. You should not tell like this, but you should be very specific according to your field of study, according to your topic of research, and avoid telling that you want to settle in Japan after completion of the studies, because that is not the intention of MEXT scholarship. MEXT scholarship's intention is that you will go to Japan, you will learn something there, you will do some research which will be beneficial to Japan, and you will return back to your home country and apply that same knowledge to benefit your own home country. That is the intention of this scholarship. So if you say that you want to go and settle in Japan and lead a lavish life there, that is not going to have a good impact on the interviewers. How will you contribute to Japan and your country through this scholarship? So again, this will be very, very specific to your research area. So just think of how your chosen field or research area is associated with value addition to Japan and to your country. Do you speak Japanese? How will you manage if you don't? So definitely there will be a question on your proficiency of Japanese. So what will you say? I am currently studying Japanese or have started learning Japanese and plan to continue learning it more intensively. And you can mention what all you have learned so far. So you have just started. If you have just started, then not a problem. Just tell it honestly. Don't try to say like more than what you know. That will be a problem. They may ask you some few very simple things, and if you are unable to answer, then that will not leave a good impression on them. And also you can right, for this question, how will you manage? You can say that I understand that many universities offer courses in English and provide support for international students. I am committed to adapting to life in Japan and becoming fluent in Japanese. So you can say that you will need some time to learn Japanese. So do not say that you cannot learn Japanese and that you will take the English courses. Don't say like that. You say that, okay, I don't know Japanese, but I will learn that. It may take some time, but I will learn that Japanese during my first year of staying there, and then I should be able to adapt to the living in Japan through that thing. So that way you should answer this. How will you adapt to Japanese society? Now, again, the answers will vary from person to person. You are free to use your own answer. Just in case you need a sample template, this is the thing. I respect Japanese customs and traditions and am eager to experience the culture by living in Japan. I believe in being observant, respectful, and open minded. My own country is also a land of diversity, and I am already part of a diverse and inclusive culture. Hence, I shall be able to adapt to the Japanese society. I also plan to join university clubs and community activities to integrate better with the Japanese community. Why did you choose this university? Again, it will come from your own thinking. This is just a template you can use, that what that university is famous about, and you can also mention the global rank of the university if you know, but along with the source of that information. And you can say that this university is famous for this. The graduate school, so and so graduate school is good there, you have heard. And the name of the professor that he is doing good research, so I was influenced by his research. So that's why I want to do research under him. And like that you can formulate your answer. So all these questions you write down the answers in notebook and practice from there. Do you have a backup plan if you are not selected? Yes, if not selected, I will continue to pursue my academic goals through other scholarship opportunities or self-funded study while improving my research and language skills to apply again in the future. I will also reflect upon the factors and reasons for not getting selected this time. This will help me not only to do better in the next try, but also help me grow as a person in life. Why do you want to study abroad instead of in your home country? Again, a very tricky question which many applicants will get nervous if they are presented with this question, but you have to prepare the answer for this as well. So you can say like this, that while my country has good universities, studying in Japan offers access to world-class technology, cutting-edge technology, state-of-the-art technology, research facilities, and a culture of discipline and innovation that aligns with my goals. I also believe that experiencing a new culture will help me grow personally and academically. Why do you want to study at a Japanese university rather than universities in the US, UK, etc.? Japanese universities combine academic rigor with a focus on practical application. So you can just bring out this point that the practical applicability of theory is more visible in the work that is being done in Japanese universities. You can also appreciate the cultural values of discipline, respect, and harmony that shape the learning environment in Japan. Moreover, Japan offers excellent programs even in English, and the opportunity to learn Japanese language making it a unique and enriching choice. So you will learn a new language, you will learn a new culture, a very, very distinct society is that of the Japanese people. So that is also a very, very good learning. Last but not the least, what do you know about Japan? So this is again, whatever you know, you have to like you have to organize your thoughts. So that's why I'm saying that you should write down the answers to these questions beforehand on your notebook, in your notebook, and then you study from there before going for the test. Japan is known for its technological advancements, rich cultural traditions, values, hospitality, the nature, the traditions, and all. So this will vary from person to person. Now, if you are a sports person, so if you are a sports guy, then you can talk about the sumo wrestling. If you are into arts and all those, music and all, then you can discuss about that. So it will vary from person to person, but again, be very honest. Whatever you are interested about Japan, you just speak on that. You need not talk too much with like too many things. Just be specific. So friends, that's all for today. Today we all are not in good mood, and so but this video was important for those who are preparing for the next round of MEXT scholarship, and this video is applicable for all the branches. So with this, I am closing down this series of MEXT 2026 scholarships application. When the application period opens for the Young Leaders Program YLP for the MBA applications, I will again start video on this YLP program. Until then, I'm not going to discuss anything about MEC scholarship, but I will definitely start another series for Japan admissions 2027 so that you start preparing for the university track. So that will be a generic admission procedure from an end-to-end perspective, not simply the MEXT scholarship. So that will be done. That will be started very soon. And along with that, the Japanese lessons we will resume, which have been impacted because of these MEXT scholarship videos. So I will resume preparing those Japanese lessons as well. So friends, that's all for now. Thanks for watching this video. Bye for now.